What we want to look at today is to do a masterclass walkthrough on the ICAG program as a whole. And most importantly, I'm going to also share with you subject combination strategies and tips on how various subjects will be studied and must be studied so that you can put yourself in the position to pass the examination at the end of the day. So we're going to be looking at the levels of the ICAG and also subject combination, progression, and how to study various subjects so you can put yourself in the position to pass the examination. So let me take this quickly as we go ahead again. Now, the subject is spread across, all three levels that we need to understand. The level 1 is the knowledge level. Level 2 is application level. Level 3 is the professional level. In all, there are 14 papers, 4 in level 1, 6 in level 2, and then 4 in level 3. Now, in level 1, some subjects we have include financial accounting. Now, this is your introduction to the accounting space, and that is going to be important because the knowledge there will help you to do financial reporting, and the financial reporting understanding will help you to excel in corporate reporting in level 3. Then business management and information system. This is crucial in level 1, and that is going to help you to deal with strategic case study later in level 3, because a lot of the things to be discussed in the business management and information system will be crucial in the level 3 strategic case study examination, and we'll get into that in a moment. The third paper in the level 1 is business law and corporate law, or business and corporate law. This is where you are introduced to various legal issues in the business environment. And the knowledge there is also important because some of the things discussed under business and corporate law could also spread a little bit across strategic case study when you get to level 3. And we're going to be getting into that as well in a moment. Then introduction to cost and management accounting. This is important because it sets you up for paper 2.2, which is management accounting in the level 2. And the understanding of that is crucial because in strategic case study, we may be required to also treat some issues in management accounting in the level 3 when it comes to strategic case study. So that is our level 1 in that regard. Now, when it comes to writing and paper combination, I'm going to be coming back to that in a moment as we proceed. In level 2, 6 papers, and we have financial reporting, management accounting, advanced audit and assurance, financial management, public sector accounting and finance, and then principles of taxation. Those are the papers in level 2. Now, principles of taxation is crucial because that is going to help you to deal with advanced taxation in level 3. Very important there. Then, not only that, it is important we understand that the idea in respect of financial management is also valid in strategic case study. Management accounting is valid in strategic case study. So the strategic case study paper in level 3, which is the last paper or the final paper you are expected to write before you walk out, is a combination of various other subjects. And we'll come back to that in a moment. Then public sector accounting and finance, which is more or less like financial reporting in the public sector environment. Then it comes to level 3, and that is where we're going to have corporate reporting, advanced audit and assurance. Then you come to advanced taxation and strategic case study. So these are the levels and progression of papers generally at the end of the day. Now, it is important you understand that to optimize your chances of passing the examination, you must know the relationship that exists between the papers so that you know how to study those papers together as much as possible, and that is going to position you to ultimately pass the examination. So, for instance, if you're in level 1, paper combination, you can do the financial accounting and then business law. Financial accounting and business law, that is will be the starting point for you. Now, yes, it doesn't mean you cannot write 4 papers at a go. You could if you want to. But the idea here is this: you want to make sure that you are being realistic as well per the things that you are looking at. And so if you're a follower of my work, I always tell my students, it is rather flexible and peaceful If you write one paper every examination date and you pass that one paper and you continue with your life at the end of the day, and that is what you need to understand in respect of that. So don't be in a hurry to say, oh, Charlie, I'm going to write 5 papers together, 6 papers together. You could, but you got to take it easy. So if we are starting from level 1, then certainly financial accounting, business law, if we are going for 2 papers, that combination will be good. Then after that, you go to the next examination date, then you are doing business management and then introduction to cost and management accounting. So that will be the combination when it comes to the level 1. If you are starting from level 1 and you are looking at 2 papers, you want to take them in pairs, then that will be an appropriate combination. The reason is because of the relationship between the subjects, number 1, and number 2, how the subjects are knitted together to optimize your chances of studying effectively and most importantly going into the exam hall to pass the examination. When it comes to level 2, some combinations include the financial reporting and public sector accounting and finance. Certainly. So if you are in level 2, you are coming to level 2, then you are going to be looking at financial reporting and then public sector accounting and finance. Why? Because there is a lot, starting with the IPSAS issues. In public sector, the accounting standards there, IPSAS, and you're going to have a dedicated 20 marks question on that. And then question 1, which is going to be the preparation of the financial statement, you are going to be dealing with the footnotes, and almost all the footnotes you have to refer to an accounting standard. That's the idea there. So IPSAS. Now, many of the IPSAS that you must know in public sector are the same accounting standards in the private sector in the IFRSs. So when we are talking about the various accounting standards in IFRSs, they are there. Then issues about financial statement, qualitative characteristics of financial statement, a lot of these issues are closely related. So that is why it is recommended that you do public sector accounting and finance and financial reporting together in level 2 because of the relationship between them. Then financial management and public sector could be a good thing to some extent. The reason is because of the fact that we have about 15% of the financial management issues that are public sector related. Things like public-private partnership arrangement, things like public procurement, and then we have issues in respect of PIFA framework. So those ideas, you will be able to familiarize yourself with them very well, because when you do the public sector, it's going to be easier at the end of the day, and the correlation is going to be better as well for you. So those are the subject combination. Again, does it mean you cannot write 4 papers together? You could. It's all about you. All right? You need to look at yourself. I tell people this. Don't just get up and say, yo, I'm going to write this. By the grace of God, I'll pass. Yeah, by the grace of God, you will pass. But you got to apply wisdom to the things that you are doing. What does that mean? Would you have the time to go through the syllabus thoroughly? Would you have the time to practice a lot of questions? Would you have the time to be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually ready for all the papers? And then can you handle the pressure on the exam day, in the exam week? Because that means you may write a paper on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday. Some days you'll be writing 2 papers. Can you handle the pressure? So in planning on which papers to sit for or how many papers to sit for, it is important you consider where you are as a person, how much time you have at your disposal as a person, and then the exam date. You need to know the timetable on the exam date so that you can schedule yourself and find out how you can spread your pressure in order for you to really optimize yourself so you pass the examination. Again, it is prudent for you to sit for a paper and pass the examination rather than sitting for 2, 3, 4, 5 papers together and then you don't do well, because that will be more discouraging than if you are just sat for a paper or 2 and then you got everything. So you got to be mindful of that. Then you come to the level 3. In the level 3, these are the 4 papers we have. Per best practice, it will be important for you to take corporate reporting and advanced audit and assurance together, as always. Again, so if you are doing 2 papers, then you want to do corporate reporting and advanced audit and assurance together. Why? Because of the relationship, right? We have ethics in corporate reporting. There is ethics in advanced audit and assurance. The accounting standards that you are going to be learning in corporate reporting, a lot of those accounting standards may be reflected in audit procedures, which is a key 20 marks area in advanced audit and assurance. And the fact that advanced audit and assurance is a written paper, corporate reporting is largely calculation and written at the end of the day. So those are the things that you must understand when it comes to the subject combination. Then advanced taxation and strategic case study can be together. They have no relationship. The only relationship I can say a little bit is there is ethics in advanced taxation and there is ethics in strategic case study. That will be the only thing that I would say, oh, there is a relationship. But in reality, they don't really have anything in common like that. But this is what you must understand. It depends on where you are coming from, generally. So, because if you have one paper left in a level, you can write some other papers in the next level. That's very important for you to understand. So, let's say you have one paper left in level 1. You can add some papers in level 2 to it, and then you write. Same thing. If you have one paper left in level 1, level 2, you can add some of the level 3 papers to write. So subject combinations sometimes will come in for those people who are in that position.